Zhuo fan 895. Hey kid, I see your shamelessness is something special, but total throwback to my own style back in the day. Today, I am making an exception and picking you to be my disciple. Hurry up and kowtow 100 times in front of me to make this apprenticeship official. This is a golden opportunity for you. What? I have to kowtow 100 times. Shangguan Yulin trembled with rage after hearing that and shouted, in your dreams. Do you even know who I am? I am the top genius of the prestigious Shangguan clan, so there's no way I'm taking some weird old man like you as my master. Looks like this kid is still way too full of himself. Zhuo Fan gave a scornful laugh and said sarcastically, who did you think you are? I know exactly how many of you there are, and where you're hiding out. Forget about someone like you. Even if Shangguan fiction showed up, I wouldn't give a damn. I am doing you a favor by asking you to kowtow, but if you don't want to, that's fine too. Just as Zhuo Fan finished speaking with a cold smile, a massive dragon tail delivered a powerful blow right to his face. His handsome face immediately swelled up and started bleeding profusely. The sound of bones cracking rang out as a few of his teeth went flying onto the ground. A stinging pain spread across his face, leaving one cheek bloated and looking absolutely pathetic. Shangguan Yulin trembled, tears streaming down his face as he stammered, what are you doing? Why did you hit me out of nowhere? You actually have the nerve to ask why I hit you with that swollen face of yours. Zhuo Fan gave a knowing smile and answered calmly, I'd always been an arrogant guy who never cared for juniors, and I never had any intention of taking a disciple. I finally go through the trouble of picking you, and you actually have the balls to turn me down. After saying that, he landed another blow, causing the other cheek to swell up red, and sending a few more teeth tumbling to the ground. Shangguan Yulin burst into tears of frustration. Senior, it's an honor to be noticed by you, but I belong to the Shangguan clan, so we can't just do this on a whim. Before he could finish his sentence, Zhuo Fan struck him again and laughed loudly, cut the crap. Me wanting you as a disciple is a huge stroke of luck for you, and if you keep hesitating, I'll keep beating you until you agree. A series of heavy thuds rang out, leaving Shangguan Yulin dazed and completely panicked. He wondered what he had done wrong to run into such terrible luck. Originally, he only planned to lure the good kid to a secluded spot to set him up, but before he could even make a move, he ran into this weird demonic old man who was forcing him into an apprenticeship. He knew he was talented, and stood out enough to catch the eye of seniors, but since he belonged to a prestigious righteous clan, he couldn't bring himself to bow down to a demonic practitioner. Plus, he had no idea how big or famous this old guy's sect was. If he was just some wandering cultivator with no backing, it would be a massive loss for him. As the heir to the largest clan in the eastern lands, he had no reason to follow such a risky demonic path. However, he couldn't escape right now, and his face was already deformed from the beating. If this kept up, he might actually lose his life. Senior, please just tell me what you want, and I'll do the hardest tasks imaginable. Just please, spare my life. I don't want anything else but to take you as my disciple. If you keep refusing, I'll make sure nobody else in this world ever dares to take you in. Shangguan Yulin was in total agony, his face completely unrecognizable. On the flip side, the more pain Zhuo Fan saw him in, the more amused he became. Shangguan Yulin blamed himself for being so outstanding that even a demonic cultivator wanted to recruit him. It's true that fame brings trouble, and being too talented is definitely a burden. Despite the painful beating, deep down he still felt a sense of smugness from realizing his own worth. Finally, unable to take any more, he sighed and said, fine, since you are favoring me like this, senior, I have no choice but to accept. However, the dragon tail kept swinging down, making both his cheeks swell up like steamed buns. Shangguan Yulin screamed in despair, senior, I'd already agreed, so why are you still hitting me? Zhuo Fan pretended not to hear and said, what? My hearing hasn't been great lately, so speak up because I can't hear you clearly. With no other choice, he pressed his head to the ground and shouted, Master, this disciple is willing to take you as my teacher, please stop. So you want to be my disciple? Hearing that makes me very happy. Yet, the blows didn't stop. They actually got even harder than before. Zhuo Fan even started punching and kicking him directly in the chest and stomach, leaving him severely injured and bleeding. Master, I had already joined your sect, so why are you still beating the crap out of me? You need to understand that I'm from the demonic path, and we demonic folks usually act on a whim. I am so happy to have found a genius like you today that I wanted to use you as a punching bag for fun, since there's no one else around. Shangguan Yulin was stunned and froze for a few seconds. It turned out this old geezer was just looking for an excuse to torture him. Still, He didn't dare fight back and only wailed, "Master, please stop hitting me. I brought someone else here earlier, so if you want, you can beat him up to vent your anger instead." To that kid. Zhuo Fan gave a cold laugh. "After you attacked him, he woke up and bolted when he didn't see you, so now you're the only one left for me to take it out on." What? Shangguan Yulin felt incredibly angry after hearing that. That kid got away safe while he was being beaten to death. It was just so unfair. "Master, why did you let him escape? That kid's talent is trash, and he has no future. You are still the one I am most satisfied with, and you will definitely inherit my entire legacy later on." Then, Zhuo Fan took a deep breath and punched him hard in the chest, causing serious damage to his ribcage. "I suddenly feel like practicing a few moves to warm up my body." Shangguan Yulin spat out a large mouthful of blood as his face turned pale. He cried out miserably, "Master, do you want a disciple or do you want to kill me? If this keeps up, I am actually going to die." Sorry, I went a little overboard because I was so excited," Zhuo Fan said nonchalantly. "People on the demonic path are all a bit eccentric otherwise. Why wouldn't I have any disciples until now? The truth is, no disciple could ever survive my training style." Finally, Zhuo Fan stopped. Shangguan Yulin slumped to the ground, exhausted, and silently cursed that wicked old man. "Now I'll finish the procedure by kowtowing 100 times in front of me to officially join the sect." Shangguan Yulin felt a surge of fear upon hearing that. Zhuo Fan's expression immediately shifted as he said, "Are you planning to go back on your word? If you don't kowtow, it just proves you aren't sincere." Hearing the word sincere terrified him, and he hurriedly cried out, "I'll kowtow right now." But he was still curious. "Master, usually an apprenticeship ceremony only requires 3 kowtows, so why are you making me do 100? Everything happens for a reason. The first 3 are for me, and the other 97 are for your deceased senior brothers, so they can bless you not to end up like them." "What? You've tortured 97 disciples to death already?" Shangguan Yulin was struck with pure terror, his heart racing until he passed out right then and there. The pitch black sky vanished, revealing Zhuo Fan's sinister and mocking face. It was late at night, and the dark clouds gradually drifted away to make room for a bright moon. The soft moonlight shone down on the ground, illuminating a person huddled in a pathetic state. He was severely injured, his clothes were in tatters, and his face was so swollen he was unrecognizable. As the moonlight hit his face, the person gradually came to and slowly opened his eyes. "Where am I? Why does my body hurt so much?" His eyes still showed clear signs of fear, and his mind wasn't fully conscious yet. However, the horrific memories quickly flooded back, making him bolt upright, look around, and scream, asking where that old man had gone. Although he tried to scan the area, there wasn't a soul in sight. After a moment, he breathed a sigh of relief and reassured himself that it was just a hallucination, or a terrible nightmare. Suddenly, a small pebble flew out, and hit him right on his swollen cheek. The intense pain brought tears to his eyes, and his body trembled from the agony. Immediately after, a familiar and terrifying voice whispered in his ear, asking who exactly he was calling a perverted old man.